I am very excited to welcome you to the Fall 2024 Community College DataJam finale. I've had the great pleasure of meeting with each of the teams this week as they've presented their final presentations. I think, as you could see by the posters that were playing before we started, they covered a wide variety of topics. And what was really striking was the teams were incredibly passionate about the projects they'd picked, the topic areas. They kind of looked at the advice we have on the DataJam website, and that all the mentors have been telling them that you should pick a topic you really care about. It will be more fun and you will be more engaged. And I have to say, this group took it to heart more than any group I think we've ever had. So it was a real pleasure to watch them do their projects. We have a full agenda tonight. What we're going to do is start with a talk by Anthony Suin. I'll introduce him in just a minute. We're then going to play videos of some of the DataJam projects. We will then have reflections by two of our past community college winners. And what's remarkable is that this is only the second time we have had a community college DataJam. But I think the first community college DataJam, which was held in California last spring, was really powerful. And we've been very lucky to get two of the students who participated, and they're going to talk to you about the impact it had on them. We'll then have a few more videos of projects by DataJam teams this time. We'll have reflections by one of the DataJam mentors, Zach Lindquist, and we will finish with an announcement of the winners for this year. So let's get started. I am excited to introduce Anthony Suin. He's played a really pivotal role in having the community college DataJam. He's at UC Berkeley. He's the executive director of the computational social sciences, and he really melds a profound interest and experience in data science with thinking about social sciences and how can data science be used in social science. And I think he's just an incredible example of how data science is used in everything. Catherine Kramer, who is actually on the call now and is a member of the board of directors of the DataJam, and I met Anthony probably 2 years ago at a Berkeley symposium with the National Science Foundation about data science education, and realized that a lot was going on in the Bay Area. And he had the notion that it would be really phenomenal to offer DataJam to community colleges. And DataJam itself, who'd been in existence for 9 years at that point, had only offered DataJam at the high school level. But we were enthralled by the ideas he had, and we offered it for the first time last spring as a pilot program. It did very well. The students felt very positive about it, that it gave them a lot of really remarkable experiences. And based on that, we are now offering it in the fall and spring semester this year. So Anthony, I'm going to hand it over to you. You can share your screen, and we are so glad you are here.
Well, thank you so much, Judy, for such a warm introduction. Again, it's an honor to be able to present today with everybody here. I will just, let's see, oops, let me get the, start a slideshow. So I'll be, can everybody see my slides?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Is there anything in the way by any chance? Because I'm missing okay, everything looks good on your end.
It
Okay,
looks great on our end.
Great. So again, my name is Anthony Suin. I'm from UC Berkeley. In today's presentation, I want to just give you a quick kind of a quick dive into the work that I think we've been doing with DataJam, and also the program I used to run at Berkeley called a Data Science Discovery Program, and we portray a vision going forward for our programs in a way that will help scale things further. So starting off, I want to introduce myself as somebody that came from the community college ecosystem. I went to De Anza College many years ago, and it was definitely a very formative experience. One thing that we definitely lacked, though, back then was data science education, but also I would say the experiential project-based learning that DataJam actually excels at. So, so that's why I want my insight from that experience led me actually to Berkeley. So I was the original staff member that helped found the new college at Berkeley for data science called the College of Computing Data Sciences Society. At Berkeley, I worked on several initiatives that with some focusing on experiential learning experience, such as the Data Science Discovery Program. I also supported underrepresented students in a program called Data Scholars. And I created a program called the National Workshop for Data Science Education, which I was fortunate enough to meet folks like Judy and Catherine. So there were a lot of initiatives I worked on, but the one that I really crystallized around was the Discovery Program. And I'll talk a little bit about that at the remainder part of the presentation. Currently, again, my work is in I lead the graduate program in the computational social sciences, and I also formed this new initiative, also focused on experiential learning called Data Core, which hopefully you'll get to hear about in the long run as we develop that. It's essentially trying to create project-based learning experiences, focusing on graduate students across all disciplines. And I'm also leading efforts on Data for Good at UC Berkeley. So I think the major question we're trying to solve right now actually is with programs such as DataJams is the lack of scalable pathways for project-based learning. There's a lot of great data science courses out there, but project-based learning is still in a way not as mature in a lot of departments. I think there are people looking for projects all the time, and I think this is a gap that I think we're trying to solve. And this is a gap that the DataJam program and the Discovery program at Berkeley has been trying to address in the last decade or so. And we see this as an incredibly significant issue, especially at the community college level, because again, curriculum is just getting started. And again, the amount of project-based learning opportunities are still limited compared to, say, larger universities. And again, we're here to try to solve that. So in the spring of 2024, we did this pilot with the support of DataJam in Pittsburgh in cooperation with Berkeley and San Francisco State to really test pilot with two of these community colleges in the Bay Area, DataJam, with mentorship coming from San Francisco State and UC Berkeley. So maybe a quick dive into the Discovery Program and how it fits into with the DataJam model. The Discovery Program has been running almost as long as the DataJam. We've had about 3,000 researchers that came out of this program at Berkeley and about 1,000 research projects. It's really designed to be open and inclusive to all students and also all types of projects. It's really designed also to work on multiple semesters, so students can jump around projects or work on projects for many years potentially. And last but not least, similar to DataJam, it's really based on the model of scaling peer support for not only for the students and also peer partner organizations. So this is something that I think it's within the DNA of both programs. We get partners and students, connect them together, but also add this mentorship component that, again, DataJam is also really well known for to help make sure the projects are successful. And in the last, at least in 2023, there's been over 750 students that have been part of the project, along with 250 projects in total. And much like DataJam too, I think we also espouse diversity. More than half the students are not data science or computer science majors. And we work with partners across the country in all types of areas, from federal government to nonprofit to industry. So here's a short list of them. We have, again, I think we really believe the Discovery Program is kind of a next stage of what DataJam students can be achieving. We have success stories in solving issues with water safety, police misconduct, to help improving patient health in the hospital system, addressing climate change, understanding Middle Eastern history, to dealing with monitoring earthquake movements with the social media, crowdsourced information in social media. these are great DataJam mentors that we had from Berkeley and UCS, San Francisco State University last in the spring, and they were instrumental in helping to set up some of these projects that were very transportation. Some were very transportation themed, and those are the ones that were sponsored by the Department of Transportation. And yeah, a lot of them came out well, and there were other projects too, based on students' own interests that came about. Let's see, how much time do I have? And last but not least, I think the students got a lot out of the program, collaborating with the Discovery program, is that they were all invited to present at the Discovery Symposium last year. Last spring, actually. And I think that was a highlight for many students, and maybe they can talk about that experience too. I want to wrap up by quickly talking about the future pathways we could pursue with the DataJam program as kind of the anchor point of it all. We learned a lot of lessons running the DataJam with the Discovery program. I think one thing that we definitely agreed upon is the peer mentoring and building industry connection is really priceless, and that's hard to replicate in a pure traditional classroom setting. I think that's the really one of the most valuable aspects that we want to keep on engaging and support scaling, if you will. But I think we did have issues trying to scale the program in at least trying to get the students that maybe were coming out of DataJam into projects, or even the mentors from San Francisco State into kind of Berkeley projects. That's something we will try to address, hopefully in future iterations of such an effort. But last but not least, I think it becomes clear that forming regional networks and hubs is kind of the consensus among other stakeholders that that's what we need to really develop in the going forward to help these programs grow, forming regional hubs. So I guess this is a kind of open question, and you don't have to answer it right now, but I wanted you to think about like what challenge do you face in your institutions for creating project-based learning opportunities, and what could programs like DataJam or something like a Discovery program help address? So the regional based model is, I think, pretty straightforward. It really connects with all the three stakeholders that we had in the local Bay Area. But thinking of that on a more regional, national level, we can start with the community colleges we're more limited by resources that we want to help serve. But I think the lion's share of the mentorship, I think, can come from the four-year institutions, mid-sized to small four-year colleges and universities, with many of them having students that came from community colleges that could become essentially anchors, if you will, of the mentorship experience for the community college system. And last but not least, larger universities in the area can help facilitate these research partnerships and collaborations, just as Berkeley's done for the other institutions. And I want to, my last point is really talking about the ways we want to, the goals of such a regional hub. And I think there are threefold. Empowering, one is empowering instructors, another is forging partnerships, and finally creating vibrant ecosystems. To go into a little more detail, I think what our instructors have definitely wanted is more support, even seed funding, to help set up more courses that involve DataJam. And I think that's something that I think we definitely need to work on more to achieve and tackle this across not only data science courses potentially, but students from other disciplines and from that are not CS or stats or data science, and ultimately build a community of practice around that going forward. Another important part is, again, forging strategic partnerships with all the departments, not only on campus, but also with business, government, nonprofit. I think there's a huge opportunity that a facilitator on a local level can help connects community college students with these opportunities, and on a larger regional level. And my last point is really creating a vibrant student ecosystem. I think with this regional hub is probably the most important goal, to do matchmaking among the students and potential projects partners in industry, to host symposiums that we have done last year, and ultimately organize field trips and other events that really engages the students. So again, I want to raise another question, is like, how can we all work together as a community to expand these regional hubs? That is the question, I think, that's the opportunity that lies ahead of us that I think we should definitely tackle. And yeah, let's all work together going forward. Whether you're a mentor, a student, or a faculty member or administrator, let's build these project-based learning hubs going forward. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. That was a wonderful introduction to things that you have been conceptualizing for some time. And DataJam is very, very happy to
Yeah.
be collaborating with you. Anthony and I, along with the community college instructors and Luella Fu from San Francisco State, in the end of October, gave a symposium about this at the Academic Data Science Alliance meeting. It's called ADSA. And I would encourage everybody on today to look at that. Just do a Google search and look for ADSA. It is very inexpensive to join for students, and it brings together a whole community of data scientists at many different levels, but very specifically in academia, that care about connecting to each other. At that symposium, we talked a lot about what Anthony just talked about, and there was enormous interest. So the people participating in the DataJam are paying attention to it. But what was really obvious was that people all over the country are paying attention to how this goes and really thinking about how can they start a DataJam hub. So again, thank you, Anthony. Very, very nice. I am going to now share my screen, and I'm going to play a video of some of the projects that were in this year's DataJam.
Hello guys, my name is Aaron Stewart, and today we'll be bringing up the topic that we'll be introducing is how the supply and demand impact each other in the housing market.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'll be talking about why we chose this topic. We chose this topic because it is an evolving issue and is subject to change every day. The market value of housing can change any minute due to factors such as inflation, supply and demand, interest rates, and government policies. Different groups of people, such as homeowners and buyers, real estate agents, and banks, would be intrigued by this topic due to its application in their everyday lives. We also viewed this as important since at our age, currently after college, we will be joining the population that will be entering the housing market to purchase our own homes.
And my name is Luke, and we hypothesized that in Allegheny County, increased interest rates would lead to a decrease in demand for housing market value in rural areas.
And last, my name is Hannah. For this project, we looked at several graphs. First, we looked at a supply and demand graph that details interest rates and how supply and demand in the housing market impacts each other. We also looked at two dot plots that compare both the mean price of housing in Allegheny County over time and the mean percentage ownership of homes over time. We look forward to presenting further on this information.
All right, today we're going over our presentation, which is are athletes more susceptible to injuries playing on turf rather than grass surfaces in the NFL or the National Football League. But also today we're only going over the overview and the hypothesis of our presentation. So first off, we kind of met with our guy named Bhaskar. He's awesome. He helped us a lot and got us with a data set from Kaggle. And then from there, it was a lot of kind of just him hawing around a little bit, but then we just got right into it and we made our graphs, we got the data sets and kind of went on from there, made our project. And now we're kind of here and waiting to present and all this. But at the end of the day, it's kind of turf fields suck to play on as a player right now for baseball. They're fun to play on and they're easy to play on in Western New York, but they also cause a lot of problems. And I believe other players in the NFL agree with me, such as Cooper Kupp. You know, as you see in the overview here, it says players all over the league, such as Cooper Kupp, along with many NFL athletes, have expressed their discomfort and frustration with having to play on turf fields. And I think it is time now to address their concerns and do something about it. So as a team, we're trying to tackle this problem by evaluating our data set to truly find the answer to the NFL's decade-long problem. And over there, you can see Cooper Kupp's tweet that he said about turf fields. And Tomas' turn.
Hello, my name is Tobias. I'll continue with the hypothesis. So our hypothesis is that in the NFL, athletes playing on turf surfaces would be more susceptible to injuries compared to grass surfaces because turf is harder and less forgiving, which increases more force absorbed by the body during play, leading to greater strain on the joints, muscles, and ligaments. So most of our time playing baseball and football, we see a lot of injuries, mostly in the knee, ankle, foot, but then we also see stuff like concussions where the ground is harder. Grass is a little bit more forgiving, as we said in our hypothesis. So most of the time that it's better to play on grass fields than in turf fields.
I'd also like to add that from just a watching standpoint, we can see that a lot of more injuries happen on turf fields while watching the NFL, and we're trying to eliminate that problem.
Hi everyone, this is Maxine, Joanna, and Matthew from El Camino College. Our community college is located in the city of Torrance in beautiful Southern California. We are just a 10-minute drive from Los Angeles International Airport. Since many of our students plan to transfer to a four-year institution after studying here, we thought it would be great to focus on what's happening right here in our own state. With that in mind, our research dives into the economic accessibility of California's universities. The topic is about the relationship between California four-year institution selectivity tiers and net price stability across income brackets year over year.
This research dives into how accessible universities in California are when it comes to cost and affordability. We're looking at economic accessibility and gaps in higher education to help students make better informed decisions about where to go for college.
By analyzing things like Pell Grant shares, income bracket, and net price, we'll explore how schools support students from different income levels. Plus, this research could shake up some of the usual ideas about public versus private universities and give people a clearer picture of what college affordability really looks like in California. Thank you.
Rural versus urban areas. My name is Tyler.
And I'm Cameron.
And this is our project.
So our intro, our hypothesis, we came up with, we think more males and females graduate high school in rural areas of New York State than males and females in urban areas of New York State.
All right, so from that, we can conclude that less males and females graduate from high schools in New York State in rural areas rather than urban areas.
And our pie charts that we created show exactly the conclusion that we made, where males and females in rural areas graduate less than in urban areas.
That was wonderful. And as you can see, there are a wide variety of topics. We're going to move now to having reflections by past DataJam participants. In fact, two DataJam participants from last spring who were some of the first community college students to undertake a DataJam project. I'm excited to introduce Ampopola Garcia and Veronica Johnson. It was a real pleasure to have them. As they will tell you, we were actually able to interact with them in person at Berkeley when we went to the data science education meeting this summer, and they were able to speak at that meeting. So Veronica and Ampopola, you can share your screen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Judy. I'm happy to be here. Happy to thank you for inviting us. I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Yes, thank you for having us.
All right. Okay. All right. So my name is Ampola Garcia.
I'm Veronica Johnson.
And today we're going to be talking about our spring 2024 DataJam reflection.
And our DataJam journey was honestly really challenging. I came into this with not a lot of data science experience. I started out as a biology major.
Versus I had a lot of experience within classroom, but I didn't really have hands-on experience.
And we started, Amapola wasn't initially part of our team. It was me and whoever else was available on a Friday. And we had real trouble finding direction with the project initially. We really had trouble finding out which data sets we wanted to use and then figuring out which questions we wanted to ask about them. What really turned us around was that I had met Amapola going to the Women in Data Science conference at Berkeley through Skyline's Data Science Club. And we got to talking. I asked her to sit in on some of our weekly meetings, and she ended up really contributing. She really ended up helping out.
Yeah, it's really an honor to be a part of that group. I kind of helped coming in, really focusing on kind of what my team had did and really focusing on pinpointing what our narrative was for our project. And yeah, kind of how we kind of collab together and really just kind of honed in what is our story and what are we trying to tell everyone.
And this was a valuable experience in a couple of different ways. We got to practice a lot of different skills, in particular soft skills like leadership, project management, and presenting in different formats. I didn't initially think that I was going to take on a leadership role. I thought since I had less experience, then I was going to just contribute to whatever the main project was going to be. But the opportunity presented itself to become a leader, which is something I had been wanting to cultivate within myself, but I hadn't really had the opportunity to.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on what Veronica had said, one of the skills that I really wanted to focus on was agile methodology, which is the approach of breaking down the project into smaller phases and then emphasizing on continuous collaboration and improvement. And that was just kind of going back and forth every week and seeing, okay, what worked, what didn't, and then just continuously working with each other as a team to just really hone in on what we wanted to say. I will say all of us had hard skills such as Python. I think we really locked in using Python programming and its libraries, also with geospatial data. And I think we became very good at data visualizations, especially with the maps that we created. Yeah.
I love doing data viz.
Yeah.
This is also
Very much.
So it's also really valuable experience in just having a chance to spend the whole semester putting the work in, just working with one team on one project, like we would in the workplace. I insisted we do 2 weekly meetings because I figured we weren't ready for the mentor meetings. We weren't using the time wisely. So we ended up meeting twice a week for the whole semester. And that really helped, especially once Amapola started breaking things into pieces. It really helped us use this time wisely. And it really helped prepare us for working at the university level or in industry.
Yeah, and then I think from this experience, we really valued and saw what we can see, what data science can do, especially through our mentors' experience with data science, and also Judy had kind of mentioned the data science symposium. We were able to kind of contribute, but we also saw others using data science within their project and kind of seeing a different narrative, which is really, really cool. And then this is kind of like us. This is the UC Berkeley Data Science Discovery on our left-hand side, where we got to present with other people. And on our right-hand side was the National Workshop on Data Science Education, where I and our other fellow teammates got to talk to educators who have or want to have data science within their education. And I felt really honored to kind of give my insight on how important and how much of a stepping stone the DataJam has been for me and for others in my teams.
And I sadly was not able to go to the workshop with the educators, but I was really happy that I was able to go to the symposium at Berkeley for the data science people. It was just really valuable to see all these really great posters all around with these important projects. And it give me a lot of insight into both what a good data science project is and what a good poster is. So it was great to have that experience and exposure to all the possibilities of data science.
Yeah, I think one example I saw was someone was using a machine where it had, atoms in it. And because we can't see with human eye, they were kind of using data science and making prediction on what it was. And so that was like one of the projects. I was like, wow, I would have never thought about that.
Mhm. Mhm. And here is our winning poster. This is Electric Avenues, Optimizing EV Charging Infrastructure for Equitable Adaptation in San Mateo County. It is available on the DataJam website if anyone would like to see it.
And here are some of our visualizations. And so where are we going and what have we done since the Data Jam? Since the spring semester, this fall I became the president of the Skylines Data Science Club, where we hosted beginner-friendly Python workshops for everyone, all backgrounds, all majors. And then we did within our club a mini project competition where we prepared students for things like this, like the Data Jam, just to kind of prep them and give them like a little foot in the door into what we would initially want them to kind of continue doing. I am applying to data science graduate programs and internships at the moment. And what I hope to work on in the future as a career is with geographic information systems, specializing in climate data science or climate data. And what I kind of really want to focus on as a career is like developing predictive modeling for early warning safety systems for natural disasters, but particularly those who are affected with tornadoes. Valley.
Mhm. And as for me, right now, I'm the project manager in the Skyline Data Science Club. I worked with Emma Pola to develop the mini project. And it was really inspiring to see people like learning how to do this for the very first time. I could see the gears turning in people's heads. I could see them learning. It was really nice. It was nice to get to pass down what we learned from this experience into like the next generation a little bit. And outside of that, right now, I'm double majoring in biology and chemistry. I'm applying for internships at UC's and at Stanford's. And I hope one day with my career to be able to join a team that will develop algae-based replacements for plastics. And there might not obviously be a data science connection there, but like Amapola was saying with the like one of the posters we saw at the data symposium, there's a lot of potential for machine learning algorithms to predict new molecule design. That's really interesting to me. And now I have more of a background in data science that I feel like I can approach that. Before I was more of a biologist. I didn't feel like I had that background.
Yeah. I think just kind of finish up, I think this experience that we gained from the spring 2024 Data Jam has definitely been embedded in everything that we do now. I think for the mini project competition, the way we kind of outlined what we wanted as judges kind of follows the outline of what the Data Jam was. And when we were explaining this to our club members, we kind of emphasized this is kind of what we want and how. And once they started to do their projects, we had them do like a little bit of reflection too, and they're like everything just kind of fit in place. I was like, yeah, this is what it's like. And I know some of the people are going to be participating in the spring Data Jam. So yeah, very exciting to kind of see people just grow from this experience.
Definitely.
And thank you guys for having us. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, the Data Jam.
Well, thank you so much. It was just such a delight to work with you last spring. I'm so glad that I've been able to stay in contact with you. And I'm just beyond delighted to see that the Data Jam is having an impact on you, both when you did it, but now as you're moving forward with what you want to do. Really fantastic presentation. Why don't you stop sharing? And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to show another short video of this semester's Data Jam projects.
Hi, I'm Cole. Hi, I'm Sam. Our presentation is on how difficult it is to commit the Division 1 men's college soccer team straight out of high school in the US. We believe it's going to be very difficult to make it to Division 1 college soccer as it's a high level and there's a lot of competition. there's not only a lot of competition in high school, but there's also a lot of competition coming from club levels around the US, like ECNL or MLS Next Soccer, that are also giving exposure to athletes around the United States to these Division I college coaches. We chose this topic also because we're trying to make it to the Division I level. We didn't quite get there straight out of high school, but we're still training hard and working every day to make it to the next level. As soccer players, this is an important topic to us. As Cole said, we want to make it to this level. Not only do we realize how hard it would be out of high school, but there's also competition all around the globe. Like for myself, I've come from a different country to try and make it to that level. We just believe it'll be very difficult out of high school.
This is Camden.
This is Sienna.
We attend Jamestown Community College, and we chose to do the pollutant levels of ozone, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide in the 5 major boroughs in New York City. We chose to do the pollution levels in New York City because we were curious to see what we were breathing into our lungs as we attend JCC. We gathered population density, the tree density, and air quality using data sets we found. Using these data points, we put together 2 graphs to display the information.
The graphs show the relationship between population and mean pollutant and the tree count versus mean pollutant. We hypothesized we would find a positive moderate relationship between the variables, but we can conclude we had a negative relationship between population count and mean pollutant and tree count and mean pollutant.
Hi, my name is Emily.
I'm Braylon.
I am Federico.
We have 2 other members that aren't here today, Addie and Allie.
For our DataJam project, we chose to look into the link between soccer injuries and their positions they play on the field. We took interest in this because we were all athletes in high school and some of us are current athletes now. It is really common for athletes to experience career-ending injuries, so we wanted to look into that. We focused on soccer specifically for this project.
After overlooking all the data, we came up with a question and a hypothesis to construct a layout for the rest of the project. The question we came up with was, how does a player's position in professional soccer influence the type, frequency, and severity of injuries they're most likely to experience during a game?
And then we created a multiple pie chart to show the results of each position and the injuries. The different positions are midfielder, defender, and goalkeeper.
Thanks, guys.
Hello, my name is Casey.
I'm Madeline.
I'm Allie.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Heather.
And this is Jerica, and this is Group 4B.
Our project is about the way the Pfizer vaccine was handled by the population when it was introduced in 2021.
We went through several variations of a topic as the project progressed.
There was a ton of data from our initial sources, from the CDC and the WHO sites.
We finally landed on the data from the New England Medical Journal that gave us 3 sets of data.
In the end, we narrowed it down to the hospitalization in cases of COVID for ages 18 and up for the Pfizer vaccine in early 2021.
We look forward to sharing our data with everyone at the DataJam project.
Thank you.
Again, a wide variety of projects. It's a real pleasure to listen to these students present topics that they were truly very interested in. It's a great pleasure now for me to introduce our next speaker, who is Zach Lindquist. He's a DataJam mentor at the University of Pittsburgh. This is his 3rd year of being a DataJam mentor, so DataJam has got to know him very well and has really enjoyed interacting with him. I think one thing that's really remarkable about Zach is he's from the state of New York. In fact, near Jamestown College. And when he first came to school here 3 years ago at the University of Pittsburgh, which is originally where DataJam was headquartered, we had no teams from the state of New York. And New York is huge. We couldn't believe that we hadn't got a team from New York yet. Zach single-handedly has brought tons of teams from New York to participate in the DataJam. So Zach, go ahead, take it away, and you can share your screen.
Yeah. How is everyone doing tonight? As Dr. Cameron mentioned, my name is Zach. I'm a junior here at the University of Pittsburgh. I'm a neuroscience major right now. I'm studying neuroscience. I'm a pre-med student, and I joined the DataJam back in freshman year. And when I did it, I wasn't really sure what it was. And eventually I figured it out, and I reached out to my high school statistic teacher. And I asked her, and I was like, hey, what's the probability that we try this? And she's like, I'm down. I come from a tiny high school in Western New York. I graduated with 58 kids. If you guys are familiar, it's Chautauqua Lake. I went to Bemis Point Central School District, Maple Grove, and I've been working with them for a while now. So my experience as a DataJam mentor has overall been very positive. I really enjoy getting to work with these students to make these different projects that they are really fascinated in. And whenever I go home for Thanksgiving break or winter break, I always try to make a good effort to go into the school itself to sit and work with these students. And it's always really rewarding. And like I said, it's a small school for the majority. These past couple of years, I actually knew these people. Like the students this year are in my younger brother's grade, so I'm getting to work with these students who I personally know. And it was especially fun the year after I graduated because I was close friends with people in the years beneath me. So it was a nice way for me to be involved with this, but also get to be like involved in their lives again somehow. And I've been a DataJam mentor also for Jamestown Community College Team 1A, which has also been a lot of fun because they're college students. They're more relatable to like myself. And I forget that I am like more qualified to do this because sometimes I forget I'm a junior. I forget I'm that old. But it's still rewarding to work with them, to meet with them on Zoom and figure out, what they want to study and how to find their data. So for the past posters here, this is all of the teams that I've worked with here, or the posters that they've made. This right here is what Maple Grove did in the spring of 23, my first year mentoring them. I started in the fall of 22. They looked at Eurasian milfoil's abundance in the central and south basins of Chautauqua Lake in proportion to other invasive species after being sprayed with herbicides. So this was a complex topic because the Eurasian milfoil is the most abundant type of seaweed in our lake, and it is a pretty like hotly debated subject there because most people that like live in the area are very pro spraying the lake because the weeds are very annoying especially when you're out there on the boats and stuff and trying to enjoy the lake. But some other people who are environmental activists or they don't live in the area, they're like, it's horrible for the lake. And they looked at how effective it is. They found that it was decently effective. And it's something they also found that they didn't put on this. It was actually not harmful to the biological population lake, which is really fascinating. And this was this past spring. Mrs. Price's class had 2 teams, so they split up in half and they did effects of high school sports on academics as well as short form content and attention span, basically how TikTok has affected attention spans in students. And it was really fascinating here. They see a positive correlation here with academics and sports. So that was actually another fun one I talked about in Dr. Cameron's class that she teaches for an adversarial presentation. That was a lot of fun. But then here, this short form content and attention span, they found that attention spans had gone down these past years with, short form content such as TikTok, such as Instagram Reels, compared to longer format YouTube videos. And this over here is my Jamestown Community College Team 1A. This was this fall that they just made. And what they looked at is the adolescents' use of social media and how that's going to relate to depression and anxiety rates. And what they noted is they noticed a correlation between social media usage in these past, almost 10 years, holy wow, like 8 years. And they see an increase in this depression and anxiety rates in these students who are using social media more often. Oops. And this past summer, Dr. Cameron mentioned it a little bit, how I expanded the DataJam into Western New York. I received the Frederick Honors College Community Research Fellowship, where I had mainly focused on expanding the presence of the DataJam into Western New York, specifically Jamestown Community College, as well as high schools in Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County. And we did this, I had done 2 presentations. I did a presentation to some faculty at JCC, which they wound up implementing into their course this semester. So that's why we had so many teams. We had 2 professors do it, and they were essentially helping to pilot the fall DataJam. And what I also, the second presentation I gave was to all of the math teachers in Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County. And how I presented the DataJam is something where students are doing real research, they're doing something that matters versus, their other final project was going around the school and collecting data. And the teachers were like, yeah, this is like not useful to these students because all the data is going to be skewed. It's from one tiny population. It's not, they're not getting real experience with this. And I presented the DataJam as something that's going to open up opportunities for like students to realize that they might be interested in going into data science, as it's a rapidly growing field. And that was really appealing to them. And they also like the fact these students would be getting reliable data sets and doing effective research. And so in the spring, all of the teachers are now being offered an option for these college and high school courses. Stat 1050 it's called. They do go through Jamestown Community College to get the credit, but all of these teachers in Chautauqua and Cattaraugus County are going to have the option to utilize the DataJam as their final project. So what they'll do is they'll follow the same timeline that we do in the spring as Mrs. Price had. And that was why it was good to experience working with her these past 2 years, because I was able to elaborate on my own experience and how she implemented it into her class. And they really seem to like that. So they're going to start the DataJam in January, because that's usually when the stat course starts, because it's a 2-semester course for these quarterly schools. The first 2 quarters, they do a problem solving class. The second 2 quarters, they do the statistics course. So it works well with their timeline. And they also appreciate how the finale is before AP exams, because a lot of students that are taking these dual enroll courses are also in AP classes, such as AP statistics. So they have the time to finish this project before they even start studying for their AP exams. And yeah, so they seemed really impressed with the whole thing. So I do believe that we will see an increase in these teams from rural New York, specifically Cattaraugus County is really rural. Chautauqua isn't as much, but we might see teachers coming in from Jamestown High School, which is a much larger high school, more urban area. Well, thank you guys for listening to me about my experience as a DataJam mentor and as a recipient of the Honors College Community Research Fellowship. If anybody has any questions for me, I'm happy to take any, but if not, thank you guys.
Thank you. This was absolutely wonderful. And we have been delighted to have Zach as a mentor. We look forward to continuing to work with him. And one thing I want to put out there for all of you who are on, we have had a number of students who've participated in high school as DataJam students and gone on to be mentors when they get to college. We had students at the community college level last spring who have been interested in becoming mentors. So you are welcome as you progress on to stay connected to us. We put out a monthly DataJam newsletter. We will continue to send it to you after you're out of college. And we hope you continue to stay connected with us. We're going to finish tonight with what you're all looking forward to, the winners presentation. So again, let me share my screen. Okay, so this fall, we had 2 community colleges participating. Of course, the Jamestown Community College that Zach just talked about. And we had El Camino College in Torrance, California. And you heard them say it's in beautiful Southern California. They found out about the DataJam through the data science education meeting that was held in Berkeley, and other faculty at nearby colleges talked to them about this. It brings up the topic that that is how people find out about the DataJam, by word of mouth. So we hope that all of you will talk to everybody about your experience in DataJam and share that anybody can get involved. Let me put this in slideshow mode. Okay, so who participated? We had 3 faculty at these colleges: Angela Rayner at Jamestown, Audrey Lynn at El Camino College, and Ashley Henson at the Jamestown College. We have a number of people who've overseen the direction of deciding to offer DataJam at the college level, and that's the DataJam Board of Directors. Many of them are actually on this Zoom call tonight. I spotted Brian McDonald, the president of the Board of Directors, Beth Schwanke, who's the secretary of the Board of Directors, and Catherine Kramer, who's also on the Board of Directors. But these people volunteer their time to bring the DataJam to you completely free of cost. So we owe them a big debt of gratitude. We had a lot of mentors participating this fall. We had 13 mentors, and they were from 3 different universities. From San Francisco State University, Zheng Jiang mentored the team at, in Torrance at El Camino. We had mentors from the University of Pittsburgh, and we had mentors from Caldwell University in New Jersey. We've been delighted to collaborate with Caldwell University for the past 3 years in training DataJam mentors. We are very, very grateful for our sponsors, and by far and away our largest sponsor is PPG Industries, which is Pittsburgh Plate Glass. They have supported us for a number of years, and in fact, most recently, they've offered a lot more support so that we can really brainstorm on how to expand DataJam and make it much more universally available. We're also very grateful to those who served as judges this year. Ramji Venkatari was a judge for oral presentations. All the teams met him. Jackson Filosa, who was a DataJam mentor and now actually does volunteer work for the DataJam. He records sessions that you can find on the homepage of the DataJam website called Data Dialogues. They're very popular. He gets people at all levels, students, faculty, people in industries, judges, to talk about what DataJam has meant to them. He was very nice to serve as a judge of poster sessions. I served as a judge. Beth Bauer, another person I forgot to mention, I think she was off to the side, is the vice president of the board of directors. She also owns her own company, Pasroy, judged the oral presentations. And Neil Ryan, who's the CEO for Askesis, which is a company in Pittsburgh affiliated with University of Pittsburgh Healthcare, that looks at data records and looks at how they can actually help with diagnosis of medical problems. So thank you to all the judges. And now we have the awards. So we're going to give 2 awards tonight. We're going to give an award and you will get a trophy sent to you that can be put in the trophy case of your college. Jamestown Team 4A is the 2nd place winner. Are athletes more susceptible to injuries playing on turf rather than grass surfaces in the NFL? Great job, Team 4A. You did a remarkable job, and you gave a very, very enthusiastic presentation. They got asked a lot of questions, and they were very, very facile at answering those questions. One would answer, the next one would chime in. It was really delightful to listen to you. And our overall winner for the fall 2024 College Data Jam is the El Camino team. They studied the relationship between California's four-year institution selectivity and price stability across income brackets year to year. Fantastic job, team. And we are so delighted you heard about the Data Jam and you decided to participate. Everybody participating in the Data Jam this fall will get a certificate of participation, and you will all get a small award that we will send to your faculty members for distribution just for your participation. It has been a real delight to get to know you, and we have been very impressed by how much you learned in the Data Jam, and we look forward to staying in touch with you. Okay, good night.